Live.
Thank you everyone for your patience. I actually got the grill all set and we are ready to go with Turkey Talk. It's the last in the series of 3 paleo cooking prep for Thanksgiving. And the first thing I want to show you is how I brine a turkey. Now today I'm going to show you how to do a turkey breast, but you can certainly apply these principles to a full-size turkey. A lot of people are intimidated by grilling, much less roasting in the oven, but once you learn how to grill a turkey, you open up all that space in your oven. If you're like me, you only have one oven, so you can get everything else in the oven while the turkey is grilling. Now, most of the time in the oven, a turkey will take about 20 minutes per pound. On the grill, it'll take between 11 and 13 minutes a pound, so it does speed up the process. Just continue to baste it. I'll show you how that goes, and watch for the internal temperature, which is about 165. So the first thing we're gonna do is the brine. Now this turkey breast is ready to go. I brined it yesterday. It's a dry brine and it will just be refrigerated uncovered for 24 hours. So I did all of that yesterday and this is how I make the brine. I start with about 1/2 cup of salt. This is just a good kosher salt like Diamond Crystals or Morton's kosher salt. And then to that, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of orange zest or lemon peel. I have that here. I buy it already done. If you can find the fresh or zest your own, that's fine too. But if you're using fresh, make sure that you use all of it and you don't try and store it because the moisture content will make the rub a little moldy. So I prefer to use the dried lemon zest. You can buy it in the store. So that's 2 tablespoons of that going in. And then this is a mixture of 2 teaspoons of dried sage, 1 teaspoon of dried rosemary. Actually, I didn't put the rosemary in, and I'll show you why. Some garlic powder and some onion powder. So I'm just going to go ahead and throw those in. And I like to do about 1 tablespoon per pound of meat. And then the last thing I wanted to show you is this is an anise seed. It's a star anise. You can see how it has a beautiful star shape. And all I'm going to do is grind it up in this mortar and pestle. And I just love the flavor that you get out of one of these. And they do take a little brute force to get them going. But grind it up as small as you can. If you have a spice grinder, you can do that too. But I like the workout. Yep. And you know me, I'm making a mess everywhere, so you just don't want to have any big chunks because this is very aromatic and you don't want anybody to get that bite of spice from this. And once I get it really small, I can just go around in a circle and that's nice and powdery and ready to go in. And the last thing I'm going to add, I know I said the star anise was the last thing, but I've got some dried rosemary from my yard. I'm going to do about 1 tablespoon of that, and I'm just going to grind it up the same way. And just from grinding these herbs together, you get the most amazing smells. And you could use fresh, but I prefer to use dried because I think that they just make a better rub and coat the turkey or whatever you're using much better when they're just dried and ground up. You could add dried ginger to this if you like. You can kind of create your own spice blend with aromatic herbs and spices to give the turkey the flavors you like. But I think the rosemary and sage are really just classic. So that looks pretty good. I'm going to throw that in and then I'm just going to stir it up with my whisk. And that's all there is to it. You can put this in a spice jar. As I said, if you plan on keeping it, make sure you use the dried citrus. Otherwise, if you're going to use the whole thing, this made about 10 tablespoons or almost 1/2 cup. So you just want to make sure that whatever you make, if you're going to keep any extra, you have the dried herbs. And then what I would do is just rub it all over the turkey. So if this was a whole turkey, I would do the whole bird, legs, everything. And I like these foil pans even for cooking, but if you have a roasting pan for the oven, that's fine. I prefer the foil pan on the grill. So just to speed up the process a little bit, I'm going to show you now that I have a turkey already going on the grill here. I've done a couple of things. The vegetables around the bed are mushrooms, onion, and carrots. There's about a pound of mushrooms, a half of a very large onion, and 1 carrot, diced up very small so that they can cook at the same time as the turkey. And then in this saucepan, I have butter and white wine. Actually, it's just ghee or clarified butter, and I was basting the turkey about every 13 minutes. So that would be 1 baste for every pound. And then I would just rotate it like this after every baste so that the skin gets a nice even color, and you can see it looks just right. And the temperature, the internal temperature, should be 165. And we'll turn this on. I have this thermometer that has preset markings for different kinds of meat. Now it was at exactly 165 right before I went live. So it's only at 163 right now, which is fine. The other thing I sometimes like to do is take it off the heat a little before it hits temperature, because what will happen is it will raise the temperature if you tent it. So I would have just tented this. So this is about a 4 pound turkey breast with the bone and everything. It's a whole turkey breast, and it cooked in about 45 minutes, even after the grilling disaster. So all I want to show you now is how to make the gravy, which is very simple. We're going to scoop the vegetables right out of this pan. I'm actually going to take the turkey out first so we can let him rest on this cutting board. There we go. And I'll put the foil over him just so. Resting, if you're not familiar with resting, is letting the juices sort of redistribute. If you ever take a piece of meat off the grill right away and cut into it, you'll see the center is where all the juices are and the edges are a little brown. If you allow your meat to rest, even for just 5 or 10 minutes before you slice it, it allows those juices to redistribute. So it's really an important part of cooking. I like to do that with any kind of meat, especially if I grill it, because the heat is just a little more intense than it would be on a stove. So now what I'm going to do is add these vegetables to my Vitamix. If you don't have a high-speed blender, it works fine with a food processor or even just a burr mixer. And I got this idea from my good friend Marty Sherman. Marty is a chef. He's been cooking for a long time, and this is how he does his turkey gravy. So there's no thickener, there's no roux, there's enough butter and juices from the turkey to give it a nice consistency and flavor. And I'm just going to turn this on, and then I have some chicken bone broth ready to go. You could use turkey stock, you could use whatever you prefer. So once I get this going and really pureed, I can thin it out. So just gonna pulse it a few times, and then I'm gonna let it go. Turn it up a little bit. Start working it backwards. Use my pusher, try to get things moving around. I think it needs just a little liquid. once you make this, you can always reheat it right before you eat. So this is an easy thing to do in advance. Scrape that down a little bit. And that's looking really good. It's really thick. I'm going to add a lot more chicken stock to this. I would say for that amount of vegetables, you could easily do a whole cup of liquid. So get this going. And I have only added about a quarter cup so far. Let's just give it another half. I like to do a little at a time so we don't make it too thin. Scrape that down one more time. It's almost there. And the collagen from the bone broth and all of those yummy flavors from the turkey. I'm going to make this the perfect turkey. Just about right. I think with all of the chaos, I forgot to bring my gravy boat out, but you get a good idea of how delicious that looks. And again, no roux and no butter, a little bit of the ghee, and that's it. So one other thing that I forgot to mention, I've been a little discombobulated today. When you go to put the brined turkey on the grill, you want to wipe off all of the seasoning with paper towels. So I'm just going to show you how to do that real quick. I just take a paper towel and make sure that everything is cleaned off. Those spices are there to help cure the turkey a little bit, and because you put it in the refrigerator with no covering, it air chills and it almost helps to age it somewhat. You don't want to do it any more than 24 hours because it will dry the meat out, and you don't need that. But that's essentially all you have to do with that. And again, you can do this with a whole turkey or just a turkey breast like this. Sometimes what I like to do if I'm having a lot of people is a whole turkey in the oven and a small turkey like this on the grill, and it gives people two different options with the kind of turkey that they might like. And now I just want to show you how to carve the turkey breast, because it's much easier than you would think. The first thing you do is make sure you have a very sharp knife. I'm going to use this fork, and right here where the breastbone is, I'm going to go in, and then I'm going to feel the edge of that breastbone with the knife, and I'm going to go straight down and across to get that meat right off of that bone. And don't worry if it's not perfect. And you can do this technique with a chicken or a duck, any type of poultry. And look how juicy that is. Look at the juices just coming out. And then just turn it around and do the other side. Someone's going to want to shred all of the delicious meat off of what's left on those bones there too. And now lay the turkey breast flat and make your slices. Everybody gets a little bit of that delicious crispy skin this way. And you have perfect turkey slices. Don't those look delicious? I think we're going to be having turkey a week early. So that's it for me today. I'm going to take next week off. So have a fabulous holiday. Whether you're having family or it's just a few people, you can do a turkey breast, you can do a whole turkey. Give it a shot on your grill. I think you'll be thrilled with the results. Thanks for your patience today during our technical difficulties. Don't forget to go on my website, livingdeliciousnutrish.com, and sign up for my newsletter. And we are doing a Whole30 January group starting January 4th, and there's more information about that on the website as well. I'll see you on social media. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Love you all. Bye-bye.